Good evening and welcome to the Job Search Solution, the radio program where we talk about looking for a job, jobs, changing careers, hiring. And as always, we begin with a prayer. Dear God, grant us thy peace and thy mercy, thy will be done. And in just a few minutes, Rich Savinci is going to be here with us talking about gratitude. Of course, today is the day before Thanksgiving where we offer gratitude for just about everything. And he has some real interesting observations about gratitude in business and in general. And it's stay tuned. You'll like it. I wanted to discuss something that came up this past week that really bears discussion, and I've been meaning to talk about it for quite some time, and it just slips my mind. And it has to do with it. I got the resume of a candidate. I've known this guy, Bob, for 20 years. And he left his job of 15 years, a good long time, about a year ago. And he has on his resume that he took a sabbatical. So I call Bob. I say, Bob, what's with this sabbatical? Well, I hadn't had a vacation in 20 years. Now, that's not true. He has had a vacation in 20 years. And I had the money, so I decided to take some time off and just refresh myself. Took a year to refresh yourself, and now you're looking for a job. Similarly, about a month ago, I had a candidate that had taken about 6 months before he started looking for a job, and his reasoning was, well, I'm independently wealthy. I really don't need to work. And he was trying to explain that to people. I don't need to work. I thought I'd come by and see what you got and see if I'd be interested in maybe working here, but I'm independently wealthy. I don't need to work. And over the years, I've heard all kinds of things like this about why people didn't start looking for a job when they really needed one. And they come up with all kinds of cockamamie excuses as to why they started looking for a job 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, whatever, after they left their last one. And they put that boldly on their resume. And it's all kinds of excuses like, well, I remodeled my house and one thing led to another. And pretty soon I was making money by saving money in remodeling my house, and it took a lot longer than I expected. One guy not too long ago, well, I wanted to travel and see the world with my kids, so I decided to take a year and a half, it was 18 months off, and go do that. And now I'm really ready to get back with it. I'm refreshed and I'm ready to go, so let me at it. Now, look, I understand, okay, if you're independently wealthy, maybe that's wonderful. I respect that. I think that's great. But when you try to communicate to a prospective employer that you can afford to take a year off or 18 months off or 2 years off or even 6 months off and not do anything regarding looking for a job because you can afford it, because you have the ability to do it, does not enhance your position as a candidate. Why? Because an employer is looking at 10 or 12 candidates, at least, maybe more. And they are asking just as many questions about why they shouldn't hire you as they're asking why they should hire you. And when you tell them that you took a sabbatical, or you took time off because you could afford it, or my goodness, you're independently wealthy, even if you are, don't say that, because the first thing they're going to think is, well, we hire this guy and he's here for 6 months and he decides that he doesn't like the color of the wallpaper or the color of the walls, and so he can leave. He just leaves. He or she just leaves, just walks out. Why? Well, they can afford it. They took a sabbatical once, they're going to take another one. They took lots of time off. They're going to take another lots of time off. And we're going to be left holding the bag when this guy leaves or gal leaves. And my boss is going to say, well, you fool, can't you see that this guy or gal was out of work for a year, 18 months, 2 years before? They obviously don't need to work. So they did it again. And they destroyed our whole department. They messed the whole darn thing up. So they're going to look at this. Even if you get to the interview, they're going to wonder, well, this doesn't make sense. Guy or gal doesn't have to work. Don't have to work, they won't. Or they'll just walk out on me or walk out on us. And I don't know that we can afford that. So they will turn the page and go to a candidate that is actively looking for a job. Now, if you're in that situation, what you want to be able to communicate is, I took time off because I could, but I economically can't afford to be without work. I'm here because this is a great opportunity and this is a great company, and I'm really ready to get back at it. It is essential that I work, and I have a lot to contribute, and here is why. I've even had candidates say, looking back on it, taking that much time off wasn't necessarily a good idea. But you got to realize that when you have gaps in your resume like that, and you come up with the idea that I could take time off because I could afford it, or I've got all the money that I need, or whatever, is going to put you in a very awkward position. And you're going to have to overcome that when you are in the interview. All right, we're going to take a short break. Stay tuned. This is Tony Bashir with the Job Search Solution.